Hi, I'm Andrew Smith of AVS Communications Online and also Exit Flagship Realty. Here with another video, this one called Social Media Marketing for Real Estate Agents. And the objective of this video is simple: to help you understand and harness the reach, and I could say power, of social media to grow your real estate business. And what you can expect from this presentation is why social media is important to realtors, why you should be on Facebook as a realtor. You'll understand how money is made online. You'll see where Facebook fits in to the bigger picture of online marketing. We'll talk about the importance of selecting the right targeted audience and the benefits of that versus advertising sort of abstractly and with no clear direction whatsoever. We'll talk about publishing content of value and why that's important. We'll touch on follow-up or drip campaigns and why they are important also and not to be neglected and should be a part of your marketing campaign or your marketing plan at the foundation of it. We'll talk about the importance of getting reviews, and I'll have some resources that you can use that can assist you as you develop as an online marketer yourself. So a little bit about me, if it matters at all. I spent some years in the United States Navy in the early 90s. I then went to school and worked in telecommunications for a couple decades, where I focused on process creation, management, and training. And then a couple years ago, I was let go from that and decided I wanted to do something different. So at that time, I actually decided to be a real estate agent, but because the class wasn't starting until April, I had the month of March to pretty much either do nothing or learn a new skill set. And what I decided to do was learn a new skill set. And so I took these internet marketing classes. And after that, I was able to start my own little ad agency, which has been fledgling along since then. And then I started my real estate classes. And September of that year, thankfully having to only take the test once, I joined Exit Flagship Realty here in Maryland. And 2018 first quarter top producer, and then runner-up for Rookie of the Year in 2018. And I'm a father of 3, author, and I love the outdoors. So that's a little bit about who I am. So let's go ahead and get started with this presentation, which is, about social media. So the question might be, why social media? And what is social media more than people connected to it, connecting to people who are connected to it so relationships can be built? And that's pretty much what it's about. It's about building relationships over these social platforms. Now, of course, there are more than just Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but for this being more focused on real estate, those are at least especially if you're just getting started, those are the 3 where you'll want to focus and spend the most of your time producing content so that you can be a part of that equation and you can be in that mix, engaging with people socially, people you don't know, so that you can grow your real estate business, which is what this is about. It's not about getting likes or shares, which are great, and we love to have those things. But if it's not producing revenue for us, then it's really a waste of time. Because social media is the new word of mouth, if you will. That's how information is being shared. That's how people are talking. That's how people are referring. That's where social proofing takes place. So it is where you want to be. So if nearly half the world's population is on social media, and you as a real estate agent, who by default is a marketer, and by default an online marketer, this is where you want to be as well. As far as the demographics are concerned, if you're dead set on knocking on doors, perhaps the baby boomers would be happy to have you. But you can see where the social media usage is trending, because the younger the generations are, the more they're using it. And now that even Generation X is using it 3/4 of the time. As they get older, you can expect them to continue to use it, and perhaps even more Generation X are starting to use it. Who knows? But the point is, that's where people are. And as a business person, that's where you need to be as well. And when it comes to Facebook, you've got nearly 2/3 of United States adults on it, so why wouldn't you want to be there as well? And if you weren't aware, Facebook does own Instagram, so you can control the posts and the ads that you have on Instagram through Facebook. So you only have to actually post them in one place for them to populate in both, which saves time and it gets you more exposure. Looking at this article now, granted this article is a few years old, but it just talks about how much money you can, the return on investment you can get using Facebook, which is why so many advertisers are using it. This article continues to go on and compare getting viewership through Facebook ads compared to, say, Google searches or search engine optimization, which can take a long time. You have to have professionals really optimize your website page with specific keywords in the right places, and that takes time, it takes money, and compared to what you can get with Facebook, really there is not a lot of comparison, because you can get results a lot faster and cheaper with Facebook than you can with search engine optimization. It continues to talk about how you can promote your page to a specific audience, maybe to get likes, if that's something, an objective that you wanted to accomplish. But, even more importantly, it's where you produce content of value that informs the public, informs your target audience, and then you can connect through people that your audience knows and build social proof that you are someone in the community who can provide value to that community, particularly when it comes to real estate. So, in summary, it's the best solution for online advertising. Definitely one of, if not the best solution for online advertising right now. It's more cost effective than search engines. It's easier to get exposure, faster to get exposure than you can with search engines. And you can do very specific targeting through Facebook. And again, the social proof that you have with it. Every time a friend of someone sees that they like your page or a post on your page, that's developing social proof with that person who's, 2 people removed from you. Okay, last quote on Facebook. It just says, whether you've embraced them like a Friday afternoon or avoided them like the plague, the fact is you need to be using them, speaking of Facebook ads, paid ads, if you're serious about Facebook marketing. And given that Facebook is such a dominant platform these days, you need Facebook ads if you're serious about social. So 1, you need to be on social. 2, you need to be on Facebook. 3, you need to be paying for your ads on Facebook so you can reach a broader audience. Because on Facebook you have your personal page, which is for your personal reasons, and then you have your business page. On your personal page, that's where you're engaging with your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you go to church with, people you're not necessarily pitching products and services to. And chances are there's probably just a smaller percentage of your friends and family that are actively engaged in real estate activity. I'm not saying you exclude them from anything real estate, but you don't want to be doing your primary real estate activity on your personal Facebook page. That's what your business page is for. Now, of course, you can invite your friends to your business page, and that they can, if they say don't live in the same local area as you, you'll have to weigh whether or not you think it's a value to have them on your page. Another option may be to just share things, that you think are pertinent for those who are not outside your target audience area. But that's a decision you can make. I mean, you can have as many friends on your business page as you want, and you can do it however you want. But again, you're talking about advertising to people, marketing to people for real estate related activity. And you want people on your page who are in that mindset. And that's who you want to be advertising and marketing to so you can get leads. And that's what you do through your business page. That's where you can engage with the general public through either boosted, which I don't necessarily recommend, or paid ads. I definitely recommend the paid ads, just not the boosted ads. They don't necessarily, unless you're just going for engagement, you can boost a post, but if you're doing that, you want to be careful that you're still boosting to a target audience and not just a default one that Facebook selects. And the reason you're doing that from your business page is because you cannot do that from your personal page. Facebook simply doesn't allow it, for good reason, because again, you don't want to be spamming your friends with your business activities. Okay, so let's talk more about that Facebook business page. It does serve two purposes, in my opinion. The first being for brand awareness and exposure. That's where you're posting relevant news articles, for example, or perhaps a top 10 list of things you can do to prepare your home for sale, or top 10 things to look out for on a home inspection, anything. I mean, you can literally produce a PDF or what have you. You can post those things online, or you can post them as articles on your page. You can use things like a top 10 list as a lead magnet, which I'll explain a little bit, or explain in a little bit. Also, you're posting on your business page videos, whether it's a live video, perhaps you're doing a walkthrough of a house, or you could do recorded videos of yourself like the one I'm doing now, or you can do them with other professionals and bring information to your audience. Videos could be your do-it-yourself videos, your neighborhood or home tours, and of course, like I just mentioned, you can bring in industry professionals to help share information that you may not be as versed in, but information that could help edify your audience, which is the purpose. I mean, you want people to be informed. My slogan is, be informed, be confident. And that's what I want. I want people to be confident when they're making a housing decision. You're not, unsure in any way. And when you have this sort of content regularly on your business page, that positions you as the knowledge expert for your audience. And anytime anyone engages with your page, Facebook logs that activity so that you can retarget them later, which should be an active part of your marketing campaigns and your advertising campaigns. Okay, so that's one purpose of your business page. The next is now lead generation, because you're providing value to the audience, right? At some point, someone's going to want to buy a house or sell a house or rent a house. And now that you've warmed this audience and you've primed this audience with your valuable information, not just pictures of your cat, and certainly not just pictures of you at closing, but valuable content that they can use when they're looking to rent, buy, or sell a home. When they are ready, who is it? If they don't have a realtor in the same house or in the same family, who do you think they're going to contact when they are ready to make that decision? But you can't just sit back and wait for it. Obviously, you have to be active and intentional in your marketing to perhaps even prompt that decision from your advertisements. But the point is, when they're ready and they see that prompting at the right time, you would be the one that they would at least consider, because you've been providing valuable content. So, when you're out there with, getting yourself known, making yourself known to the public, to the audience that you've selected, you're engaging with them and you're letting them know who you are, so that when the time comes, they will trust you to do business with you, so that you can then get their information which ultimately will lead to making money, which is why we're doing this to begin with. I think I went a little bit too fast on that last one. There we go. Yeah, we want to make money. All right. That's behind my camera right there, so I'm not really seeing it. Okay, but I want to talk now about the the social media marketing sales funnel. But this isn't just social media marketing sales funnel. This is an internet marketing sales funnel, which transcends across every business doing business on the internet. And where I have Facebook right here, this could be Google, Yahoo, anything. Because you have the public out there scrolling on their device, and then something interrupts their pattern, interrupts the flow of what it is they're doing, catches their eye in some sort of way, and then there's copy that's engaging, and then they click on that ad, and then they're taken to a landing page or a lead capture page. And that's where something of value is offered, usually at a discount or even for free, in exchange for that viewer's contact information, them then becoming a lead, right? So you have to have engaging content on your landing page that's sufficient enough to compel them to say, whatever it is they're offering here, I want it, and I'm willing to give you my contact information for it. So they do that, they make that transaction on your landing page, and then they're taken to the website. And I like to use this example where they're scrolling through Facebook and looking for a pair of shoes, right? Or sorry, they're scrolling through Facebook and see an ad for a pair of shoes. They click on that ad, they're taken to a landing page. That landing page offers them a coupon for 20% off. This is a place that they already know and trust, so that they have no issue giving their information away. They give that contact information up. They go to the website, but maybe the phone rings, maybe a child cries, or a number of things, a million things can happen to where that individual doesn't complete the transaction at that moment. But them having had that transaction with you on the landing page, or with the marketer in this case, that marketer has their contact information. So even though they didn't complete the transaction the first time, the marketer has the capability to follow up and retarget them later. And that is really where the money is made, because most of the time the transaction doesn't happen on that first click. It's after seeing an ad. I've heard the expression, no one's seen your ad until they've seen it 7 times. And you can control that through your marketing campaign in a retargeting ad. And if you just have a video, say you have a video of even 30 seconds, and someone watches 15 seconds of that video, Facebook will capture that information, enabling you to create a custom audience and then retarget them later. So, there's a lot of talk, perhaps you've heard of pixels, Facebook pixels, which you would put on your landing page and your website. You don't need pixels to track activity that happens within the Facebook ecosystem. You can just do that through custom audiences. You retarget with custom audiences, and that is where the money is made. And that is no different here on social media than it is for any business doing business online. This is the same model that any business doing business online would follow if they want to get business, if they want to grow their business. Because if they're only relying on getting a transaction, they've got to have the most persuasive sales page ever. Obviously, the landing page to even get them there, but that would have to be a very, very, very persuasive offer to have someone buy it on the first landing, unprompted. Okay, so let's now talk about creating audiences, because this is perhaps the most important piece of this puzzle, because you can have the greatest advertising in the world, but if it's not getting to the right people, then it's all for nothing. Because you have to remember that on a social media platform, people aren't scrolling to see ads. they're scrolling expecting to see posts from their friends and family and the people that are on their personal page. So when your sponsored ad comes up, annoying their flow, um, you want to make sure that when your ad does show up, you're not annoying someone because your ad is resonating with some sort of pain point that that person has. And so you want to make sure that the targeting that you do and the ad copy that you write and the creatives that you produce are all addressing that audience, right? And so it's essential that you think that way, because I was just talking to an agent earlier today who did a campaign targeting agents to come in to like an in-person sort of seminar. No one showed up. I asked her, well, actually, she sat through a presentation I did earlier, and I asked her afterwards if she had targeted, actually she was really, taking notes when this part of the presentation came up, because that's exactly what she didn't do when she did that campaign. She didn't target the right audience. So it's essential that you do it, and it's essential that you do it fairly, and that's why I have the equal housing logo there. Because there are 2 billion or so users or accounts on Facebook, and of course you have to account that a lot of these are test accounts, so maybe not whatever exact number of point billions, but there are a lot of people around the world on Facebook, and that's what's important. Now, as a real estate agent, you own and operate a local business, so you don't need all 2 billion people. So when you're creating your audience, you want to narrow in on those who are local to you. And then once you've narrowed in on those who are local to you, you want to target those who have interests to do with real estate. You're not targeting, at least for your real estate business, people who are interested in cars or cats or what have you. You can use those things in your ads creatively, but you're more so interested in people who have real estate interests, because that's who you want to spend your money advertising to. You should not be interested in spending your money showing your ads to people in different countries, or even in different states, or even in different parts of your state. The point is to advertise to people where your business is, and you can do that through creating the right audience. Okay, so when you're creating your audience, I separate into 3 main categories: renters, buyers, homeowners. And you can segment those categories. You can even have, obviously, multiple categories of each. There's no limits to what you can do. And then you're going to separate or define the members of that audience first by the geography, then by the age, but you have to be careful because we can't discriminate when it comes to targeting. So you can specifically target 55 and older, but if you're targeting a younger group specifically, maybe you just want to focus on millennials, then you have to ensure that you're selecting the right interest, which would put your ads in front of millennials. And so again, I do this across the board: renters, buyers, homeowners, and then I get deeper into my targeting from there, because you can get as detailed as possible. You just have to ensure you don't violate any fair housing laws and discriminate against protected classes. And then something that's very important for you to do is continually test. Test your audiences, which is really about ad sets. And then you can also test your ads within an ad set to see which one's performing the best. You want to compare it, have something to compare it to. And then in your testing, the one that loses the test, you drop that. And then you introduce a new competitor to the winner. So you're continually optimizing the ad's performance. So I just have some examples of more detailed targeting within these three main categories. So say for renters, you can see the categories that I've identified here, and then you can narrow your targeting by looking for people who are actively on or liking these real estate home search sites. Because yes, these interests, I should say, would identify someone as a renter, and this would have, show that they're looking for a house. Perhaps I should have house hunting down here. And as far as buyers are concerned, well, you can include renters in that buyer audience, of course, and then also go a little bit deeper by selecting interests that would apply to a home buyer. And then you can continue to narrow those interests by selecting home search sites. And this is very rudimentary right here. There's so much, you can create individual audiences of all these things separately. You don't have to have them all in the same audience. There's a lot of things that you can do creatively to find the right audience. You just have to continue to test until you do. As far as homeowners are concerned, these are some of the interests of homeowners. It's not to say that a renter would not be interested in HGTV, but typically someone who's renting a home isn't necessarily actively interested in home improvement, unless they maybe have it as that's part of their job or something like that. But when you combine these interests, you can again narrow in on someone who is more likely a homeowner, particularly because you can't any longer select the behavior as homeowner. But something, it's important to include in your homeowner targeting is buyer characteristics also, because you want to, and again, there are other interests that would identify someone who is likely to do what have you, but you want to identify homeowners who are also in the mindset of buying a house, and perhaps you can get in on both ends of that. But the point is when you are marketing to homeowners, you want to market to homeowners who aren't just happy and comfortable sitting in their houses for the next 20 years, but who have shown some sort of interest, like these buyers, in wanting to buy a house. And hopefully that all makes sense. And I would, for all of these categories, exclude real estate professionals from your targeting. And you can also exclude those who have recently moved, because maybe they're not as actively ready to start that process again. Okay, now let's talk about publishing content. And as much as I love cats, I'm not talking about publishing cats on your Facebook business page. That's for your personal page. Now, of course, if you can post a picture of a cat and it's relative to what you're advertising, then by all means. But don't just publish things as clickbait or engagement bait, because you really want to be, again, positioning yourself as an expert, a real estate expert in your community, and you want to do that by providing valuable content. We saw this slide earlier talking about content, and I emphasized posting relevant news articles, things that are relative to buying, selling, renting a home. And when I was putting this presentation together, I went on Google and I put in real estate content, and the first thing that came up was for Keeping Current Matters. Now, I've been using Keeping Current Matters since I first came into real estate because I saw the immediate value of it, having already been educated in internet marketing prior to becoming a real estate agent, because I saw that you could provide valuable content and have lead generation tools in one place. And just starting out, not knowing a lot, you need as many advantages that you can get to position yourself as a knowledge expert, but not just in a hollow way, because prior to posting any article, you read the articles first, and there's a wealth of information in this thing. There are buyer and seller e-guides for lead generation, and they even have specifically for millennials, information specifically for millennials and homeowners and sellers. I mean, it's again just quality content that you can share with your leads and prospects. There's also a lot to inform and educate you as a real estate agent, so that you have the information necessary to be able to communicate to your audience. And that's not just your audience on Facebook. That's the people you meet in the grocery store. That's the people you meet at the bank. That's anyone who asks you, how's the market? You have the information to tell them. And you'll just be amazed, I think, if you look, for anyone who hasn't yet, at how much information is available with Keeping Current Matters. You have these daily personalized posts, and there's an example of one here, where there's an article written Monday through Thursday, short articles, valuable quality content, and they appear as though they're written by you. And they also have, lead magnet capabilities here where they can contact you directly. But you read these posts and then you post them to Facebook, and then you can get engagement there. If anyone asks you a question, again, you have information to respond with. And that certainly beats, well, let me check with my broker and get back to you. There are also monthly market updates for you as the real estate agent. These are videos that you can watch that include slides that you can download and include in your presentations, whether it's a listing presentation or a buyer presentation. And I believe this is still $24.95. Now, you can buy add-on stuff, but you can also just try it for 2 weeks. And if you can download as much as you want, and make a decision on what you want to do then. But I think if you go to that extent, you'll see the value of it and you'll want to keep it. And I do have a link to it right there if anyone is interested in exploring the capabilities of Keeping Current Matters for valuable daily content. Now, I didn't finish a thought earlier. I said they post written articles Monday through Thursday, but on Friday there's an infographic, and I think this is an example of one of the infographics there. Again, all the same lead capture information, but at this point, more importantly, quality content. Now, here's a site I've come across recently, breakthroughbroker.com. I've just come across this recently, and so I haven't explored it, to its full extent. But from what I've seen so far, there are truly lead generation capabilities. There's all sorts of branded marketing material that you can put out. And one of the things, well, the best thing I like about it is it's free. So yeah, I would encourage you to check that out. Again, for content that's going to inform your audience, which is what you'll need, especially if you're first starting out as a real estate agent. So let's talk about follow-up or drip campaigns. This slide here is just pretty much talking about the fact that email marketing is still viable even here in 2019. So don't think it's gone out of fashion. Yes, there is some connotation with spam. And yes, there are new ways of engaging in follow-up, be it messenger bots, and whatever else is coming after that. I mean, there's always going to be the need to have a drip campaign, whether it's through email, text, phone calls, messenger bots, drones. Who knows what's coming in the future? The point is, you have to have some sort of follow-up campaign, which I think is necessary to build even before you start running your ads. Because when you get the leads into your database and perhaps have contacted them and were unsuccessful in contacting them, you want to be able to put them in a drip campaign so that they don't fall away. So that when they are ready to make a purchase, you'll be the one that they contact, because you'll be feeding them with quality information, whether it's, on Facebook. By the way, you can create an audience of your leads that you get through your CRM and market those people directly on Facebook, meaning you don't have to email them. You can create a custom audience by uploading a list of emails and then show those people ads in Facebook. All right. So, point is, don't neglect follow-up campaigns, because that's where the money is. And we looked at this in the example earlier. The follow-up is where it all happens. And perhaps you've heard the expression, the money is in the list, or maybe said differently, the fortune is in the follow-up. However you want to say it, you have to make sure you're continually engaging with your audience and your leads. Okay, getting reviews. This is one of the things that I should have been more active in earlier on, because it's something that I need to work on myself. Nearly 63% of home buyers will contact an agent that has excellent reviews posted by real customers. I mean, I don't think we need to see anything else, but most people, when they're making a purchase online these days, buying from strangers, want to see that social proof. They want to see that that person is worth me spending, worth me clicking on their stuff. And so, yeah, they might see your ad on Facebook, but they're going to probably go to Zillow first to see if you have any reviews there. So you have to, keep those things in mind. And again, that's something I didn't take advantage of when I first became an agent, but certainly something that is active on my mind now, and I want to do something about that. It says about 22% of home buyers choose to contact a real estate agent that is active in the community. Now, you could be active in the community in many ways. I mean, whether it be through charitable work or a church. You can also just be doing videos in the neighborhood, community education videos where you're edifying the public about a neighborhood or a community. And then there are smaller percentages that pay attention to other things, but the majority of people are looking at reviews prior to making a decision. So let's talk about some resources that you can use. These are some of the resources that I use to, create campaigns and go through that whole process. Of course, you need to have your Facebook business page. I mean, it's point A. You should have some sort of content, content that's branded to you, and directed to your funnel. You don't want to be just posting realtor.com articles, because they have their own lead magnets, so they can send the agents that pay them, the preferred agents, they can send them the leads. You don't want to be doing all this work to get someone to pay to click on your ad for that lead to go to Zillow, to go to some other agent. You want it coming to you. All right, and so you need branded content for that purpose. Another way to get people to stop on ads is emojis. You don't want to overdo them, but since I started using them, I really noticed an uptick in initial engagement on the ads. So emoji.copy is a site I use for that. If you're looking for free images, Facebook does have pretty good stock images. It's just that, there could be other people using those same images. But unsplash.com is a good site that has copyright-free images that people won't sue you for. If you will be making videos, perhaps videos with edits, and you want to add music to them, Epidemic Sound is a good one for that. There are plenty of others, but I do listing videos for agents, and promotional videos, and so I do videos that are 2-3 minutes long, and I use music as part of the appeal. And there's a massive library, and you can sort of filter in on the exact type of music that you want. And so that's a pretty cool website for adding soundtracks to your videos. As far as video editing software, you'll need one. You know, I use Movavi, but I'm really looking to move beyond that with more videos that I do, just so I can get more capabilities out of it. You will need a CRM or a customer relationship management software. Regardless of who makes it, you need one, because that's where you will be engaging with the leads once they do come in. So you want to make sure that you continue to sell them at that point. I mean, because your purpose once they are a lead is to convert them to a client when they're ready to make their move. You'll need a brokerage website, something that's IDX enabled, meaning connected to the MLS. But you'll, especially if you're doing Facebook lead ads, you'll need a privacy policy, and you'll want that policy to come from your broker's website, because officially your broker is the one your broker is the one that person will be doing business with. So you'll want to have a privacy policy that comes from your brokerage. I use Spokio.com to get more information on a lead if I can. Sometimes you'll get an email address and a bad phone number, or a phone number and a bad email address, or no name. And you can use Spokio. And there are other sites. I mean, just Google sites. Perhaps if you, if you just Google Spokio, of course, Spokio.com will come up, but there will likely be others that come up as well. So, that's just a tool you can use, and these are all tools and resources that you can use when you're planning, crafting, and executing your campaign. Okay, now, so we're at a point where you're like, this is a lot of information, and especially if you're a new agent, you're like, okay, where do I start? Do I pay someone to just do everything, or do I do it myself? And I think we all know when we go the do-it-yourself route or the free route, the first place that we tend to go is YouTube, and that's where we watch the gurus who have good information, but they also have expensive products. And while I'm not knocking that whatsoever, I mean, would I like to be sitting where they are? Absolutely. But the point is that you will have to pay to get quality information, or at least actionable information that will allow you to execute your social media campaigns to make you money. Because if you just go this route trying to do it on your own for free, believe me, you will end up frustrated. At some point, you have to make an investment in your business through the education of you, the business owner. And, so that, do you pay an agency for that? Maybe a done-for-you agency, which, by the way, I do have a done-for-you service. But I will guarantee you that you as a real estate agent, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have at least one transaction a month, if you're paying someone to generate that business for you now on the onset, understanding that the incubation period can take a few months, that will exhaust your budget pretty quickly. So that's something you really want to consider, especially if you're just starting out or you don't have a robust marketing budget. I like to meet people where they are. You've heard this saying. I've changed it to make it gender neutral, but you give a person a fish, you feed them for a day. You teach a person to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. And that's the approach that I would like to have with you. If you're watching this and you're thinking, well, perhaps this is, I want to explore more. I want to explore more of how social media can grow my real estate business. If that's what you want for yourself, then let's talk. And let's look at how I can help meet whatever need you have as far as executing on a social media marketing plan. So why do most agents fail? You're just not committed enough. We know the stat. Almost 90% of agents fail within the first 5 years. When I first heard that, I was sick to my stomach, but I wasn't sick in the sense that I was going to let that make me fail. I just couldn't believe so many people would invest so much and then not do the work to be successful. Because it's not a part-time job, it's a full-time commitment, and it's a business that requires investment. And if you're not going to do it by putting all into it, then why do it at all? And that's what this article here says. If you're not fully committed, it's time to reassess your career choice. Don't waste time, don't waste money. Go get a job if that's what you want to do. But if you want to be a real estate agent who is positioned as a knowledge expert in their market today and into the future, then get involved in this, embrace it, and use it to your advantage so you can make some money. There's a fear of mistakes and the desire to look good. I'm sorry, I'm just wearing this suit today because I wore it earlier at a presentation and I wanted to do this video today and didn't feel like changing it, but whatever. But the point is that, I asked agents, okay, well, one of the things that you'll need to be doing is making videos. You ready to do that? And 4 out of 5 back away from it. But I know agents that make videos every day, all day. That's what they do. But there are agents that won't make a video because they're afraid of what they'll look like on camera. Well, that person needs to realize that this is not about them. The person who's watching it doesn't care about them. As much as they care about what the viewer can get from the person who's presenting the information. Well, at least that's what should be more important. Of course, you're going to have narrow-minded people who won't respond to someone just based on how they look. But if you look at 80% of the world, 80% of the world is probably logical enough to think, if this person has what I have to offer, I could care less what they look like or what they smell like. I want what they have so it can make me more money. And that's what it should be. And if you can just get over, making mistakes, and looking, the best you're always going to look, then you can bridge that gap, like Edison, who failed over 1,000 times at making the light bulb, but he kept at it. He was persistent. And that's what it takes in this business to succeed and not be part of the 80-odd% that fail. And so this last slide here says, another reason most agents fail is because your gas station is only open 1 day a week for an hour. And it says, as a real estate agent, your number one priority is attracting customers. It's not a part-time pursuit. Far too many agents do just a little bit of marketing once a week and hope for the best. And unfortunately for a lot of agents, they don't have a business page. So being honest, their marketing efforts is posting a picture of them and their client at settlement, sharing their appreciation for that transaction. And the call to action is, if you or anyone you know is looking to buy a house, call me. And that's the extent of their Facebook marketing. They don't have a business page and they don't feel it's necessary to pay to do anything on Facebook. But this is hoping for the best, because you're hoping someone needs to buy a house and that they're going to call you. But if all they know of you is on your personal page and you're posting things that are not business related on your personal page, which you're fully entitled to do, they may see stuff on your personal page that, they may think, I'm not seeing anything of value here. I'm not seeing anything that shows me that this person is a knowledge broker when it comes to real estate. For all they know, that picture at closing could have been your cousin. So my point is, you have to be more intentional about your marketing, not just post stuff on your personal page thinking that's going to get more business. It might get you some likes, some comments, but you're doing this to grow your business, not to be popular. To be known, but to be known for the right reasons. Lead generation and lead conversion need to be your primary focus. Okay, so again, in this realm, it's not about promoting you, it's about promoting what solutions you can bring to the public. If there was a way to teach every new agent this philosophy and force them to live up to it, the agent failure rate would decrease dramatically. And so these are the pros. This isn't me. And that's where I want to leave this. And so I do want to make myself available, again, wherever you are in your social media marketing understanding. If you're not there yet, let's talk. If you're already doing it and you're crushing it, send me your page so that I can learn from you. I'm not the overall knowledge expert in all this stuff. I'm still learning. I'm still going through courses that I've paid for so I can continue to learn. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to do that too, especially considering the fact that there are so many changes on the horizon when it comes to Facebook marketing. They're going to be taking away a lot of things that make it easy, or easy as it is now, which is less easy than it was a year ago, and it's only going to continue to get that much more difficult. But that doesn't mean you need to run away from it. You need to embrace it, figure out how to use it to your advantage, to grow your business, to feed yourself and family, and to enjoy real estate. Thank you for watching.